Alright guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you guys how to transform the look of your engine bay for around $45. And pretty much what we're going to be using today is just a couple types of paints, brushes, and cleaners. So what we're going to use is VHT Wrinkle Plus for the valve cover. I'm going to use this aluminum blast for some of the silver parts that I would like to touch up a bit. Not really needed. And then some black paint, just for stuff that used to be black. We'll probably just spray it real fast. And I would recommend wax and grease remover, because that is what this recommends, but I wasn't able to find it in a spray can. So I'm just gonna end up using brake and parts cleaner. Pretty sure it'll be fine. And then for cleaning, I'm gonna be using some purple power, and then we're gonna use this on some of the plastics to make it look nice. I know it's for interior, but it works really good with the hoses in the engine bay and the plastics as well. And then I was just too lazy to pull out the hose and unravel it, so I'm just gonna be using a spray bottle. And then I got some gloves, some simple hand tools, and some brushes that I just got from the cleaning aisle. Alright, so what I'm going to start with is I'm going to remove the engine cover, because I'm not going to be using it anymore. Removing the air box and battery, just because they're easier and it just frees up some space, and I'll make it easier to get everything nice and clean.
Losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headaches stack. Restlessness to hell and back. What's my purpose? What do I grab? A slippery surface, a heart attack. And sometimes you just gotta believe there's something that'll give you relief. There's something that'll have what you need. What you need. We're broken, it's tragic.
Alright, so I removed a few parts. Cover, as I mentioned earlier, not going to use it anymore. Remove the battery, see how much space it freed up, and we'll be able to clean a lot easier in here. And then I removed the air box. Not really needed, but I wanted to get the little clamps off this air hose here so I could paint them, because they're getting a little rusty with that Aluma blast. I'll be painting them with that. But these ones right here, I mean, you don't have to, but it's all those little details that can make your engine bay look really nice. With these, I'm not going to take them off because it's part of the cooling system, and if I open it up I'm going to have to bleed it. I don't feel like doing that. And that's why I got these little paint brushes. I'm just going to paint the silver on there to make it look nicer. And then pretty much what we're going to do is I'm going to use a spray bottle. Just be careful not to spray into any open connectors like that. If you do, not a big deal. Just dry it out, blow it out with anything you got. And then try not to spray too much water on the alternator. It's meant to get wet. It's out here in the engine bay, but if you got a hose or power washer, just be careful not to spray that super hard. You could just put a little bit of tin foil on it. Don't spray directly into it with the power washer. But with the way I'm doing it with the spray bottle in an engine that's not too dirty, to me this isn't too dirty, I'm just gonna use a spray bottle. That'll be fine. Easier. Don't have to run the hose, and don't have to worry about, you know, a power washer hitting the alternator too hard or something. So pretty much from here it's easy. Just power purple, water, and the various brushes you got. Try to get to every nook and cranny. Get as much dirt as you can off. Simple as that.
What you need. We're broken, it's tragic. We're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic. Believe you could have it. And I know of sadness, the anxious and panic, the infinite vastness of all that is blackness.
so this is where we're at now. Kind of looks like a mess now because I took the valve cover off, but we're not looking bad. We're looking cleaner. And as if you saw, I went kind of back and forth because it's hard to tell if something's still a little dirty once it's wet. But I'll do little sections and make sure the power purple doesn't dry. And then once a section dries off, and if I see it's still a little dirty, I just went back. But this is gonna look way better once we put the actual Meguiar's interior detailer on there. But I took the valve cover off. It looks really clean. They really did take care of this. You could tell they changed the oil on it frequently and on time, because that's tight. I mean, that just looks, that's remarkably clean for a motor with 160,000 miles. So I'm happy with that. Valve cover was very easy. Here, I'll show you. I just got the stuff out of the way, like the harness, and pretty much it's just, you know, 3 bolts on each side and a few on the end, and it just popped right off. So now I'm gonna clean this up really well. Yeah, clean this up really well and get it ready for painting. Valve cover nice and cleaned up now. It's pretty easy because it was already bare metal, and with the purple power and brakes and parts cleaner, it cleaned up really well. So pretty much now what you have to do is just tape off what you don't want to get paint on, like where these hoses connect, the threads on these studs right here, and then the oil cap and spark plug holes. You could just put paper towels in there to keep the paint from going in there. And then I'm pretty much just gonna do it by the instructions on the can, but I'm gonna change a couple steps. I'm not gonna use Scotch-Brite on it because it's bare aluminum and it's already pretty porous, so I think it's gonna stick well. And I'm actually, instead of doing 3 heavy coats like the can says, I'm gonna do 6 light coats, because a friend of mine recommended me to do 6 light coats instead of 3 heavy. He says the wrinkle finish comes out better that way, and I trust him because he's pretty good at this stuff. And then it says you can bake it in the oven, but I'm gonna try it with a heat gun and see how that comes out. And like always, when you're painting, don't forget to wear a respirator because you really don't want to be breathing in this type of paint. So yeah, I'm gonna do the coats how the instruction says on the can. I'm gonna do horizontally, vertically, then I'm gonna do diagonally. Alright, so here it is. It's been sitting for about 30 minutes. It's already wrinkling a little bit, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how many coats I did. This is my first time doing a wrinkle black valve cover, but it's just the shape on this. It's a lot of shapes, a lot of you know, tabs on it. So it was really hard to get an even coat and, you know, keep track of how many coats I was on. But I'm gonna use a heat gun. It's not required to use any heat. It does it wrinkles on its own. But it does mention that if you put it in the oven and bake it for a little bit, it kind of speeds up the process and it hardens it. But the wrinkles might be a little bit tighter. I'm I don't want to put it in the oven, so I'm just going to use a heat gun, and we'll see how it goes.
But do I grab a slippery surface, a heart attack? And sometimes you just gotta believe there's something that'll give you relief. There's something that'll have what you need, what you need. We're broken, it's tragic, we're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic, believe you could have it. And I know of sadness, the anxious and panic, the infinite vastness of all that is blackness.
Okay, so I'm pretty much almost done, but I wanted to show you guys with this red terminal. I don't know if you guys noticed it, I didn't point it out too well in the beginning. It looked really bad and faded. For this, you can't just add the dressing I'm putting on all these plastics to make them look nice and it'll come out good. These reds fade really bad. You pretty much need to get a heat gun and put a lot of heat into it, and you'll see the color change. You don't want to get it too hot to where you melt it, but you'll see the color come back, and once it's uniform, just do one section, go to and then go to the other side, just to prevent it from getting really hot. But once you get a uniform color and you put the dressing on it, pretty much looks pretty much good as new. And then just wanted to show you how this is working. I get the Extra Shine Meguiar's, and just look how that manifold came out and all the hoses. It makes it look like new. So once you clean it with the purple power, and then see right here, I left this part, these, without it. See, after you do the purple power, it looks faded. But all you do is just get it wet with this, let it soak in for a little bit, you know? Don't let it dry on there or it's gonna look splodgy. So you gotta do it little by little. Don't do the whole engine bay. You do that, and you rub it off, and then the plastics look new. And this will last about, I would say like a couple months, but it's really easy to upkeep after you do it. And it seems like every time you do it, it lasts longer because it is conditioning the plastics. So it doesn't only just make it look good, it actually protects it. And see, look how the hoses come out. But yeah, I'll show you the finished product tomorrow when I have daylight.